Trump could soon force banks to take part in an immigration crackdown. What I mean by that is sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status, something banks aren't currently required to do. One source says the new policy could come through an executive order. CNN's Matt Egan is following this story for us. So, Matt, what are you learning about how banks are responding to this possibility?
Yeah, well, Omar, this does appear to be part of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown. Sources tell CNN's Priscilla Alvarez and I that the administration is considering new action that would require banks to check the citizenship status of their customers. Now, this would be something that would actually apply not just on a go-forward basis, but also to existing customers, which is pretty stunning when you think about just how many customers the banks already have. Now, this action could also require banks to check a different category of documents than what they normally look at, including passports. Now, I do want to stress that nothing here has been announced or finalized. It's not clear here whether or not this would come in the form of an executive order or some other action. We reached out to the White House, and a spokesperson said that any reporting on policy that hasn't been officially announced is just speculation. But some Republicans do support this. Republican Senator Tom Cotton, he put out a post on X yesterday where he said, "I strongly support President Trump taking action to prevent illegal migrants from accessing our banking system." And he said he sent a letter to Treasury last fall asking for an investigation into this matter, and that he plans to introduce legislation on this issue shortly. Now, Omar, you asked about how the industry is reacting. Officially, they're not really saying much, right? Representatives from major banks, from bank trade groups, they haven't commented on this. However, sources do tell CNN that the industry is concerned here because they're worried that this kind of action, it could almost compel them to be part of the administration's immigration crackdown. One financial industry source told me that verifying every bank customer's citizenship status would be unworkable. This source said it's a bad idea. We are very alarmed. Now, banks are required to adhere to anti-money laundering rules, know your customer rules, but they don't track the citizenship status of their customers. So if this did become official, that would certainly be a significant change. There's also some questions about whether or not this could discourage immigrants from keeping their money in the bank. Even undocumented immigrants, they do play a significant role in this economy. In 2023 alone, undocumented immigrants, they paid $90 billion in federal, state, and local taxes, and they had spending power of nearly $300 billion. And just one other point for you here, Omar. The president does talk a lot about cutting red tape. It's something he's very proud of, something that he mentioned during the State of the Union last night, where he took credit for cutting a record number of job-killing regulations. But this potential action related to banks and the immigration crackdown does show how, in some cases, the president has actually added new red tape and regulation where he sees fit. Back to you.
Something to watch for moving forward. Matt Egan, appreciate the reporting. Meanwhile, our next guest made headlines when he resigned.